Patrick Mahomes started his game against the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday with an interception. The Chiefs are in an empty set with two short outbreaking routes, two skinny posts, and a short curl on the wide side of the field. The 49ers responded to the empty set with an aggressive pass defense alignment. They have two safeties deep, the defensive line is spread wide, and one linebacker is over the slot while the other threatens to blitz in the middle. It's the alignment of the two safeties that should tell Mahomes where to go here. It's not just that they're both deep to create a cover 2 shell, it's that they're also both lined up to the inside. If we draw a straight line through both slot receivers, we can see the safety to each side is 1 or 1.5 steps inside of them. The Chiefs have some speed in their offense still, but they no longer have a premier wide receiver with intimidating speed. That left with Tyreek Hill. As such, defenses are more willing to take this aggressive approach. They're showing what is theoretically a cautious play call with both safeties in deep starting positions, but since both players come forward and inside at the snap, it's actually a very aggressive coverage call. Mahomes is confused by this. He initially looks to his left and he sees the safety turn to the three receivers on that side and his momentum come forward. His weight is on his front foot rather than dropping back. From the end zone angle, we can see Mahomes recognises this and instantly snaps his eyes to the other side of the field. He doesn't look at what he's throwing to. He assumes the other safety will have to respect that there is more space on the wide side of the field and drop off. That safety doesn't drop off. He jumps the route and creates the interception for the other safety instead. This is a brilliant play call to encourage Mahomes into a bad decision. What's critical is that they also generated pass rush off the edge. That wouldn't happen too often throughout the rest of the game. That was pretty much the end of the good plays for the 49ers defense. Injuries limited how much man coverage they could play, and the zones eventually became predictable for Mahomes. So let's look at how he ripped off chunk play after chunk play against D'Amico Ryans' defense. This play begins with Mahomes rolling to his left. He has an out route to Travis Kelce short and a corner route to Mecole Hardman further down the sideline. Everything is breaking outside on the front side of this play design. At this point of the play, the backside crossing route isn't far enough across the field to be an option. The defense has flowed across the field to shut down both frontside routes, and there are two defenders in position to sack Mahomes in the flat. This play is dead. Or rather, it should be dead. Mahomes somehow throws a back hip throw to his corner route between a channel of defenders while moving to his left. This is an astonishing throw, even for a quarterback who specialises in astonishing throws. That extremely difficult throw pushes the offense into a scoring position. From there, Mahomes is the easiest touchdown throw in his playbook to Mecole Hardman's end around. Hardman scored 3 touchdowns in this game as the 49ers never adjusted to take away the sweep action plays. It's admittedly easier said than done against this offense. Getting back to the more traditional play designs, here we're going to see how fast Mahomes' process is. This play design has a very clear frontside and backside to it. There is no action in the middle of the field, so Mahomes has to go all the way to the opposite sideline if the front side is covered. The defense is sitting in zone again, this time playing quarters coverage. At the snap, Mahomes will read the middle linebacker. He moves to the wide side of the field. His presence means the curl route will be covered, but it also means the other linebacker can leak outside to the flat and the corner route is working between two defenders downfield. Nothing is open on the front side of the play. On the backside, the defense has 3 players to cover 2 receivers, but the setup means a receiver will eventually come open. Almost instantaneously, Mahomes snaps his eyes back to that side. He's so fast in his process that Kelce hasn't come out of his break yet. Mahomes can see the outside cornerback is running deep, so Kelce will be wide open underneath outside by the sideline. The end zone angle shows that the linebacker began the play inside, so he was always at a disadvantage. He's playing inside leverage with no outside help against one of the best tight ends in the NFL. When Kelce catches the ball, he can turn upfield unopposed and create after the catch for a big gain. The main difference between Tyreek Hill and Marcus Valdes-Scantling, his replacement, is that Hill can create his own separation. You don't have to design shot plays to create scenarios for Hill to come open. Valdes-Scantling is very fast in a straight line, but he doesn't run very good routes. You need to create one-on-one sprint races for him to get open. That's what the Chiefs do on this play. The defense is in cover 2. Valdes-Scantling is in the slot to the right. The receiver outside of him is going to occupy the cornerback to that side of the field. Kelce is at the bottom of the screen and he's going to release vertically until he's past the linebacker underneath. That forces the deep safety to commit to him on his side of the field. What's left is Valdes-Scantling with a running start against the other safety. Mahomes has plenty of time in the pocket and keeps his eyes on Kelce as the play develops. He never really resets before throwing the ball inside to Valdes-Scantling. That's because he's wary of the safety recovering and undercutting the throw or blowing up his receiver if given time. That's also why Mahomes doesn't throw Valdes-Scantling across the field. He sits him down a little bit more than he wanted to, but he protects him nonetheless. The 49ers defense tried to disguise their zones as much as they could, but Mahomes is simply too smart to be stopped by a defense that didn't get a consistent pass rush and couldn't play aggressive man coverage throughout the game. Here again we can see the Chiefs call a play that ignores the middle of the field. If the 49ers play cover 2 here, Mahomes is a short out route and sideline route to work the cornerback outside. But they don't play cover 2. At the snap, he sees the safety to his left step forward. He instantly knows it's cover 1 at that point. Against cover 2, with these routes, Mahomes will either hit the out route or throw past the cornerback downfield depending on his movement. Since it's cover 1, he throws the ball downfield but with a critical difference. Now he's throwing to the receiver's back shoulder to exploit the coverage. He knows the cornerback will be looking at his receiver and not looking back for the ball. You've seen the Chiefs throw to receivers wide open in the red zone over and over again since Andy Reid got there. They've done that by using really smart route combinations. But these route combinations don't always work. On this play, Mahomes is going to look for his man-beating combination to Kelsey at the bottom of the screen. It's not clean, so Mahomes is forced to look to the secondary options in his play design. His eyes are on the two free defenders to his left. They are occupying the passing lane where Mahomes ultimately wants to throw the ball. He has to move those defenders, but doesn't have time to reset within the pocket before the pass rush gets home. Mahomes leads those defenders inside with his eyes, and crucially, he doesn't reset his feet before throwing the ball past them. His body is squared to the wrong spot, so he throws more across his body rather than straight to his receiver. That saves the split second he needed to get the ball out cleanly. Marquez Valdes-Scantling had a 40-yard and 57-yard reception in this game. Principally, both plays came about in the same way. He lined up in the slot for his first big play and ran past the safety, as we've already seen. But on this occasion, he is wide to the right outside the numbers. The receiver inside of him is going to run a post route, while he runs vertically outside the numbers. The goal here is to isolate the cornerback against Valdes-Scantling outside. With the defense playing quarters coverage, this is an easy setup for the offense. The cornerback begins to play off the line of scrimmage so he can't touch Valdes-Scantling as the receiver runs by him. The safety is occupied by the post route as expected. Mahomes has time in the pocket after two receivers setting to chip block at the start of the play. He unleashes a bomb to his receiver for this monstrous gain. Finally, the Chiefs put the game away when Juju Smith-Shuster scored a touchdown from deep. Every Chiefs player is lined up inside the numbers for this play. This creates a crowd over the middle when 4 of those 5 receivers release vertically over the middle of the field. The 49ers blitz the slot cornerback at the top of the screen at the same time. Mahomes immediately recognises this and sees the spacing behind him as a pressure point for the defense. His receiver does too as he turns around instead of running his route downfield. He's going to draw the attention of the defense. Mahomes trusts his pass protection and knows he can make plays in closing pockets. That allows him to hold the ball here instead of throwing the ball instantly to that receiver. The safety over the blitzing cornerback is looking at Mahomes in the pocket, so he uses a pump fake to send that safety to the outside. Meanwhile, Smith-Shuster is moving to the inside. Mahomes leveraged the sensitive spot in the coverage behind the blitz to create a wide open space over the middle for Smith-Shuster. Once more, it's the speed of his process and his comfort working in all different types of pockets against all different types of coverage and play calls that makes him such a different quarterback to counter. It's what makes him an elite quarterback. His life is more difficult now without Tyreek Hill, but the value of an elite quarterback means the Chiefs will always find ways to put up big numbers no matter who is or isn't on the field for the offense.